The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I am your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, good morning, kid.
Good morning.
Could the weather be any better?
Oh my gosh, I went bike riding the other day out in this gorgeous sunshine on my little cruiser. It's just glorious.
What
right
is
now.
it about the sun shining on our skin that we just love
Vitamin
so much?
D.
Yeah.
Yeah, more vitamin D.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. It's feel-good weather. We love it. Don't stop.
I hear you.
Keep the spring here.
I know, keep it rolling, because I tell you what, anything close to 70 makes me feel like we're almost in...
Yeah, bikini weather?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, keep your bikini at home, Craig.
No. Some things are just not meant to be talked about on the radio, and that's one of them. All right. Well, as always, it's so good to have my special guest host or co-host. Are you a guest anymore? I mean, we've been doing this for over a year.
I like to feel like company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
welcome to our humble abode in here with Johnny. Here's the mic. Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah, I can go home if I want to.
Yeah, it's all by
you
choice.
Can't make me stay.
Don't make me stay.
There you go.
Exactly.
Michelle Pettis-Cavalli here in the studio with us. Michelle is a licensed realtor with Valleywide Homes. Doing it statewide, Valleywide.
All over.
All over the place.
Reedley last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here. Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives Michelle and I the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
It's important to be a resource.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of the top stories on today's show. You know, CoreLogic reports that 1.4 million homeowners returned to equity at the end of third quarter 2012.
Woohoo, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Applause. Yep.
Yep.
Anyone? Yeah. And the president also called this week for a new refinance bill. So is it real or is it refinance?
You know?
Yeah.
Well, don't get me started.
I don't know exactly. Buying a foreclosed home can come with some pretty interesting surprises.
Yes,
Bet you want to know.
can.
Yes, they can. Exactly. And did you know that subprime credit scores are on the decline? I didn't know that there was anything like I didn't know that there was a subprime
actually is in. I mean, it is a declined number. So, I mean, they're on the decline, meaning they're going down, or on the decline as far as the population is trying to improve their scores.
I will share more information. I'll uncover that.
I'm confused right now.
You're confused.
Yeah.
There you go. Doesn't take much, right? We're also going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. If you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or you just like to chat with me and Michelle, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Call into the show or call us after the show at any time at 800-979-3958. Again, that is 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also go online, search for your new home. You can check out our resources. There's all sorts of stuff on our website. Mm-hmm. Go to FresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend of Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call us. That's what we're trying to get you to do. Call us. If you don't have if you don't want to dial the phone and you're driving, just use Press 4. It's for all those times you're in the car, away from your computer. And you just want to press that little orange ball on your cell phone and you'll call into us.
Tap in.
Yeah.
I had a great call this week.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Just one?
Well, no, I have lots of great calls, but I had a great call from a person who's represented by an alternate agent, and I always dig those calls because I always think, why are you calling around? Trust the people who are working for you.
Yeah.
I just found it interesting that they just had lots of questions.
Yeah.
So why isn't my property moving? I said, I don't know your specifics, but evaluation of your, neighborhood regularly is going to be recommended, and that's something you want to sit down with your agent and talk about.
It's always difficult
a weird
for a seller.
Situation.
So this was a seller.
Yeah.
It's always difficult for a seller to look in the mirror.
And I said
I really
90% of the clients that we have whose property doesn't move, it doesn't move because the client's not willing to look at what the real market is.
Yeah.
I said honestly, because if it's priced according to the market, it's going to move.
Yeah.
And so I didn't look up the property. I didn't look at anything. I just found it really cute and really interesting that people call around like that because it's, but that's okay. I mean, I hope I gave them some good advice to go back to their agent and sit down and look at the numbers and make sure everybody's real with what's going on with that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, I just love those calls, though.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
90% of the time, it is the seller not willing to get out of the way.
That's true. That's true. But at the same time, I don't want to assume that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There might be other mitigating circumstances.
Yeah. Like the house is half burnt down, or who knows? I didn't look.
Knows?
I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, there you
Too
go.
funny.
Exactly. Well, let's take a look at today's hot property. Well, today's hot property is brought to you by Michelle. It is brought to you by Perfect Inspections. Whether it's residential, multifamily, or commercial, use press 4 keywords, Perfect Home Inspections. Or you can call Jerry Schooley today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Michelle, why don't you take it away for today's hot property?
We have a great home up in the Bass Lake area. It's actually a North Fork address.
You've got my attention. You said
Bass Lake. Yeah. You like Forks Restaurant?
Oh,
I can take my bike to Forks Restaurant from this particular property, so it's a really close to the lake.
Can I get pancakes?
They do hamburgers. I don't know if I'm sure they do pancakes, but you don't go to Forks for pancakes. Okay. You go to Forks for their burgers because they're so amazing, and you sit on the patio outside and watch the lake.
There you go.
It's gorgeous. Anyway,
awesome. Okay.
This is a gorgeous property at 52802 Timberview Road, North Fork, California. It is currently priced at $450,000, and it is worth every doggone penny. It's over 5 acres. It has a horse setup. It has a custom home that has nearly 1,000 square foot of wraparound porch.
Yeah.
It's only a couple years old, and let me just tell you, the builder was a custom builder, did some beautiful work, granite countertops, nice, gorgeous kitchen.
High ceilings.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of
You've
windows.
got the vaulted ceilings, tons of windows, and it actually backs up to forest property, so nobody can build behind you. It also, which I love, and I'm going to have it open this afternoon from 1 to 4.
Oh,
so
super.
52802 Timberview Road is the address. It even has like a treehouse for the kids already built on the property.
Oh, wow.
I would want to I would want Jerry to come check it out for stability's sake.
Yeah.
But my point being,
Before you start messing with it.
it's just a really fun property. It has a little natural brook that trickles through. Has a barn for the hay, has a separate garage, separate storage.
Lots of room for your horses.
Has a hot tub built into that deck on the back side of the house, so you can walk straight from your master bedroom right out to the hot tub.
Wow.
Yeah, they haven't invited me to be the caretaker, but boy, let me tell you, it's a perfect setup for me, horses and all.
Oh, wow. So when you say dream home.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, I would love for anybody who's interested at all, if you're planning to build a home or if you're interested in looking at homes just for the heck of it even, just come on, stop by tonight.
Whether it's a second home or your primary residence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The home has some great features that people will just fall in love with.
So how can they get a hold of you today?
Today you can call or text me on my cell. 559-367-6800.
That's easy. 367-6800.
Yeah.
I have you on speed dial, so I don't remember
know
the
you
number.
don't. You never dial. You don't dial my number. Come on now. Anyways, but I will be at the property. If you have an agent, bring the agent with you. No problem. We'd love to see you. 52802 Timberview Road, North Fork, 93634. From 1 to 4 today, you can call me at 367-6800.
Super.
Good
Beautiful
time.
property. Awesome deal. Well, if you'd like more information about this hot property, give us a call. 800-979-3958. Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ Hot Property.
And we will send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties not so many of them like this, because this is one of a kind.
Yeah, this is a one of a kind.
There you go. Each week, right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Let's take a look at some of the top stories in the news. You know, as of this morning, 1,091 active listings here in Fresno.
We have to talk
County.
about it again.
Well,
I feel like a broken record because I'm telling clients, okay, let me explain to you the picture here.
The dynamics
Last year
of the
today,
market,
I had 3,000 properties to show you. This year today, I have under 1,100. Does that tell you how quick we're moving? And they just giggle because they don't really know what that means until we get out making offers.
And then they still ask you, so that one we saw over on 4th Street,
bye-bye.
Can I
Bye-bye.
can I offer $80,000 on that one?
No.
Listing price was $149,900.
No, you may not.
No.
Well, you can.
Why
but
not?
Please be aware
That
they've got 6 offers already at or above asking price.
Asking, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What does that number translate into? A lot of competition.
A lot of competition, a lot of work out there for our buyers.
Yeah, when you've got interest rates at 40, 50-year, I think everyone lost count, record lows in terms of interest rates. We'll talk a little bit later on the show if you're renting and what your rent payment actually translates into in terms of a purchase price to help you, if there's anything that we can do as far as helping to get you off the fence or at least give you the perspective. What does my rent payment buy me currently? Right. Yeah, I tell you what, 8,558 units sold in 2012, about a 713 average clip. We closed 561 units in January. February, usually because it being a short month, is usually a little lighter as far as sales are concerned. It's just kind of the way things roll. I will say this though, March. Let me tell you, people start coming when it starts to warm up and we have this beautiful weather.
That's right.
Let me tell you, people start getting out there.
Get on your cruiser, start looking for your house.
Yeah, you better have a little better than a cruiser because you might hop on your bike and get there at 2. And
hey, that's a great idea. Maybe we should show, maybe we should do a bike tour of homes.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, you know me. I'm always like.
You're always quirky like that.
Quirky like that.
Oh, wow. Well, did you know there's good news out there in the market? Not only are housing prices, I tell you what, not only are housing prices increasing, but CoreLogic reports that 1.4 million borrowers have actually returned to equity year to date through the end of the third quarter in 2012.
Nice.
Well, so let's define a couple things that. Negative equity, which is often referred to as underwater or upside down. So simply put, if you owe more than what your home is worth, not necessarily what it's worth to you, but what it's worth in real time as far as in today's market, what someone would pay for it, and maybe not even what someone would pay for it, what someone would pay for it in relationship to other properties in your neighborhood. And unfortunately, negative equity occurs when stuff sells for less than, what you owe. Well, CoreLogic reported just recently that, and CoreLogic is a leading provider of information and analytics, released a new report showing that approximately 100,000 more borrowers or homeowners reached a state of positive equity during the third quarter of 2012, adding to the more than 1.3 million borrowers that moved into a positive equity position through the end of second quarter 2012. And that brings a total number of homeowners or borrowers that moved from a negative equity position to a positive equity position through September year to date to 1.4 million. Now, you think that's a big number.
That is a very large number.
That's like L.A. County moving.
But this is a national report.
Yeah,
this is national year to date. You know what? If you're not sure and if you're curious if your property has been affected, definitely give us a call.
Yeah.
We can look some of that information up for them.
It's called a competitive market analysis, and we will rip the Band-Aid off. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Well, no, but
if you're not sure.
Yeah, if you're not sure, it would be nice to know that if you are one of those people who's moved up into the equity where I don't know why, but we've talked about it before. People just breathe a sigh of relief when they're not upside down and they're feeling positive and
they feel better about themselves and their situation.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. Do call us if you're curious.
This particular study also showed that 10.7 million or 22% of all residential mortgages with a mortgage were in negative equity at the end of the third quarter of 2012. That's a lot of folks still. So when you look at the relationship between who moved into positive equity territory and who were still considered negative equity, you're 10 to 1 easily. Yeah. This was that 10.7 million in 2012 was down from 10.8 million properties or 22.3% at the end of the second quarter. An additional 2.3 million borrowers had less than 5% equity in their home, referred to as near negative equity.
Wow.
At the end of the third quarter. It is good news.
It is.
But there's still some, I tell you what, there's still some big numbers to overcome.
Well, and the numbers, to me, the numbers are national. I mean, those are national numbers. So let's look at, again, let's look at our ecosystem. Let's look at our neighborhoods and how are we faring?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if you watched the State of the Union address this week, President Obama.
I'm sorry. Did I laugh out loud?
Yeah, you did.
I'm trying not to.
I will stop giggling as well. For the second State of the Union speech, President Obama called for legislation that would allow struggling homeowners to refinance their mortgages and take advantage of lower mortgage rates. Well, you've created your own bed, mister. I think you need to sleep in it. So.
Well, what cracks me up is, Can I
finish?
Can I say
Go
a
for
quote?
It. Yeah, of course.
In the information we were talking about, quote, right now there's a bill in Congress that would give every responsible homeowner in America the chance to save $3,000 a year by refinancing at today's rates. So $3,000 a year, that's under $300 a month.
Yes.
And what's it cost to refi?
Yeah.
Probably close to $2,000.
And it's all relative.
It's all relative, but I'm just like, he's talking about stuff he really, truly probably doesn't understand very well because, in some cases, $3,000 doesn't make sense for a person to go through paying for an appraisal and going through the process and having a new mortgage done. And, I don't know. I just find it a little interesting.
Well, I think the interesting point is this. He says Democrats and Republicans have supported this before. So what are we waiting for?
Yeah, if everybody's in support.
Yeah, take a vote and send me the bill now, right now. Well, I tell you what. Here's the deal. You've created your own little, how should I say this, convoluted quagmire, because it's not as simple as... And it's not, I didn't make the rules. It's not as simple as voting on this particular bill.
Mr. Obama, are you the investor who's carrying the notes on all of these? Because they're the ones we got to play ball with.
Yeah.
Not you, not Congress, those folks. I mean, really? Let's talk to the financial institutions. Oh, he didn't mention those, did he, in his speech at all? Because those folks are the ones who are holding... what happens?
Right. What's holding
hostage.
us back? Let's streamline the process and help our economy grow. Hey, Kate was in the studio, Kate Island from UBS Financial Services last week with our Market Watch update, and it's very well known and very well supported that as the real estate market turns around, we're going to see the real estate market drive our national GDP. It plays such a huge important part. Well, yes, to a certain degree, he is right, but I think that's grandstanding. But that's how you do it in Washington today.
Sure, you make it sound really, really juicy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you created the problem, and you guys all fix it.
Yeah, whatever.
And did you also know that buying a foreclosed home at auction can come with surprises? No way! Get out. Yeah, it can.
Didn't we talk about get a mentor, get somebody to help you with that if you're going to do it? Because it sounds so easy. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly. Go to the courthouse steps. Yeah, have a big bag of money.
Yeah.
So when the auctioneer gets to you and says, we're talking about 5238 East Sequoia Avenue, Fresno, California, 93710.
You better know what liens are on that property. You better know what's going on with that property. You better know if it's ready to fall down. What you're buying.
Yeah, a good friend of mine who's a real estate investor in town, he drives every single property as close to the auction as he possibly can to make sure that it has not burned down. And you bring up a good point because there was a number of years back he didn't drive a property and it was burnt down.
Really?
I kid you not.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was gone.
That's a lesson.
Yeah, that was a huge lesson. That's why he drives all the properties now.
Well, you don't just drive them, though. You have to do your legwork on the title side and make sure that it's got clean and clear title and that you're not going to have to, deal with any bull later.
Yeah. Well, in this particular story, a house sold at a foreclosure auction last year proved too macabre.
Really?
Yeah, this sounds like a Halloween story. Well, Bill Thoman decided not to bid on a house in a subdivision north of Vero Beach, Florida, when he learned that tenant Albert Cuyo III died inside this home, and the body wasn't found for several weeks.
And his problem is?
He doesn't.
It's a foreclosed home. The dude was dead. Is he supposed to announce? I mean, he didn't have time to do a seller property questionnaire.
Yeah, court records show that Mark Astor, who was of Boca Raton, who owned the property, fell into foreclosure, and the property was auctioned this last September. Well, here's the deal. That's what you get. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Exactly right.
You don't get to go in the property. That's why they have all those shows on HGTV where they're standing out the front side going, well, we got the keys, and we just picked it up this afternoon, and we don't know what we're going to get. Ta-da! And they open up the house, and here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you get.
Because you don't know what you're going to get.
A big, nasty smell.
And honestly, big, nasty
No, seriously, he was there for weeks before they found him.
And my point being, you don't know what you're buying.
Yep.
So why is that any different than you buy a house and it needs all new electrical? It is what it is.
Well,
you're getting potentially a deficient property. Get ready, set,
and
go.
Yeah. Traditional sellers, me, you, and everybody else that actually sells a home, we're required by law, as well as agents, to disclose if someone has passed in that property over the last 3 years, whether it's murder, whether it's natural causes, whatever it is.
Well, and I'm pretty sure your investor buddy is aware of what's going on that property, generally speaking. So
yeah, he has ways. He knows people.
Yeah, well, and you need to. If you're going to be playing in that ballpark, you better know the rules of the game.
Yep, very true. Yeah.
It's risk versus reward. You wouldn't be getting such a reward if there wasn't risk attached.
Yeah, there's got to be a little hair on this potato, because if there wasn't, he wouldn't be getting such a good deal.
Do your homework. That's the lesson.
No pun intended.
Do your homework.
Very, very, very true. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, or questions regarding the dead body that was found in that property that we just talked about, give us a call. We'd love to chat about it. 800-979-3958. Hopefully we're not being too chipper this morning. I'm just really happy that the sun's out.
Well,
Cat got your tongue too. All righty, 800-979-3958.
It didn't say that it was a violent death.
No,
I will say that. It was a natural cause, as it seems.
I don't even want to go into that, because court records do show different.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, wow.
Go to our website, reofresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call us anytime, during the show, after the show, call us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, with the increase in home prices nationally, what sort of trends are we seeing, and what should you look out for as you begin to gain some sort of equity? Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 01228460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer, at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, we've talked about housing prices, not only here in our local market, but also nationally, statewide as well as nationally. And we've seen an uptick in housing prices on average nationally. Well, what are some of the things that homeowners really get the opportunity to look forward to again? Number one, it's equity.
Equity, which then, in a lot of cases, for those folks who desire, it's home improvements.
Yeah.
We improve the property we live in because it now is worth more than what I paid for it.
Yeah.
And that becomes a highlight for owning a home, I think.
It's a huge thing.
It becomes yours at that point,
Yep.
where you actually get to make it exactly as you want it.
I think you bring up a good point there, because owning a home that's upside down almost doesn't. I think there's some detachment there. I mean,
I agree.
don't
And
you
I think what's happening is you feel, well, not you, but generally the consensus that I hear from folks is it becomes a burden. It's just the walls you live in. It doesn't have that same home feel because you don't feel you're making progress. And I think anybody who works and makes a living and pays a mortgage every month, they want to feel like they're getting something out of it.
Getting ahead.
Exactly.
Huge.
We buy cars, and they depreciate when we drive them off the lot. They do, but it is a utility. It is an item that it's a must here in the Valley, especially. So you don't look at it that same way. You're not looking as a long-term investment to gain from.
Right.
So that's not why you put your money in it. You put your money in it because you have to have it to go to work, to do the things you want to do. And one of the things most people want to do is have that mortgage grow for them as far as equity so that they can make that home their own and raise their kids in it and live there forever, or save the 3 or 4% in equity that they gain this year and pile it in with the next year's 3 or 4% equity and move up eventually. It's a stepping stone for their future.
Yeah, definitely.
So different than a car and other things.
So extremely important to note, as housing prices rise, what's one of the biggest concerns? Well, the biggest concern is as home prices rise, your next credit card could be your home.
And honestly,
it's important that we talk about that. It's important that this is part of the discussion. And the reason being, you tell me.
I just sighed because I know that ATM, I mean, we laugh now looking back at how people utilize their homes as an ATM, because there's otherwise you'd cry if you, heard some of the serious stories.
You also didn't know that what taking money out of those homes does and did, hindsight being 2020,
Correct.
It's all crystal clear.
Exactly. So, I caution people. It's one thing if you take a home equity line of credit to improve the property in some manner. Maybe you have a couple of acres. It needs fencing. It needs a new well. Those types of things. That's one thing. But when you're doing it, to take a trip to Hawaii or take a new cruise or buy a car, those aren't reinvesting into the collateral.
No.
And that's the caution, I would say.
Didn't you and I, there was a homeowner that came to us and said that they had, the reason I bring that up, because when they took a trip to Hawaii and they said, oh yeah, we're still paying on it. And this was like 4 years ago. They're like, we're still paying on it.
Yeah, this is not a credit.
That's ludicrous. That
exactly.
You don't do it just because you can. So the important part of this conversation is talking about your next credit card could be your home. How about no?
Yeah, but how about caution? Yeah, let's not do that.
Exactly. Yellow tape all over the place. Well,
Hazard.
after years of the housing market really kind of being on its ear, and this particular story came from the San Jose Mercury News, Bay Area home equity borrowing jumped significantly last year, reaching its highest level in 4 years as the housing market has continued to rebound. I will say this. It's extremely important to note that equity in properties, in terms of a second lien, it's very rare to come by, and also very conservative. And the reason being is why? When the housing market did fall on its ear or fall flat on its face, those products went away. There were not lenders out, because a junior lien, how much is a junior lien with Citibank getting nowadays? They owe $27,000. You know what they get? $4,000 to short sale that property. So regardless of, the first, let's say the first doesn't have to short its payoff whatsoever, the second, they owe $27,000, they get $4,000. So they short that payoff. So in today's market, do you think that folks that give, banks, any of those institutions that lend, in second position, you think they're a little more conservative?
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, they are.
Well, and I found it interesting too that up in the Bay Area they were saying that over the last several years, when people have been improving properties, they've been using stocks, they've been using bonds, they've been pulling some of their cash for
in part
for the
because
long-term investment.
nobody was making those.
Correct.
Good idea to make an improvement in that property.
Exactly.
But secondarily, where are you going to get the cash from?
Exactly.
If you can't get a second lien, guess what? You go to the bank, you get told no, then you look to pull it from your stocks and your investments.
But again, that's an investment back into your future.
Yep.
And the equity that rises, you don't know what the future holds. I mean, that's what I always tell you don't know what the future holds. You want to be able to, eat when it's all said and done.
Yep.
So, and if you need to dispose of that property because you lose a loved one or a family member or a job or whatever, you want to be able to do that.
Right. Well, as the housing market rebounds, it's even more important to keep in mind. So what are my credit scores? Well, did you know that, Equifax believes that any score below 620 is considered subprime. Subprime's a dirty 4-letter word. Well,
it's like a 12-letter word.
It is actually.
I'm teasing.
Okay.
Are you counting letters?
Well, I was starting to. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. It's not
below
quite 12.
620, huh?
Below
now,
620.
Years ago, I can recall 620 was strong. We were like, hey, that's a pretty good credit score.
Well,
because at the time, if you had a pulse.
You could get a lot.
And you were at 550. Unfortunately, those were subprime. Was it the 580, the 550?
Yep.
But 620 is what they consider subprime now, huh?
Yeah, below 620, Equifax states that the subprime credit scores are declining across the country. However, with strong declines in a few rebounding markets, according to Atlanta-based Equifax, a leading credit reporting company. They're one of the three, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Yeah, consumer credit scores are improving in most major metropolitan areas, which is
they're
good.
Improving, and that's awesome.
And would make sense. However, there are certain areas where the below 620 credit scores still have yet to see that rebound.
Well, and I find that interesting because, like FHA loans, we're looking at 620, 640, generally being the line that that you have to cross. You have to be 620 or above, 640 or above, depending on the lender. So the fact that 1 point below that, you become subprime and no longer primo.
Yeah, not
but it's kind
top
of
of the heap.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, conventional financing. If your credit score is in excess of 740, you can't get any better in terms of how that loan is priced.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It also states Equifax also found that early housing bust markets, meaning those markets that saw the quickest and most significant decrease in property values, are also experiencing improving scores as time passes since the worst of the foreclosure crisis. These markets include San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Las Vegas and Phoenix. Oh my gosh. As well as Miami.
Well, you know what? I find those to be interesting. A couple things. They're very much second home type cities as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a second home in those areas. So, of course, those ones would have been hit with foreclosure in some cases.
Right.
Way sooner than your primary residence, so they got hit early on. So they've had several years to start rebounding.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Well, this particular story from NBC News, Americans are tapping into home equity again. Nearly 11 million borrowers are underwater on their mortgage. This is the 10.7 we talked about earlier. And owing more than what their home is worth, yet home equity credit lines are suddenly on the rise again. That kind of talks about what we were addresses the story that we were talking about a little bit earlier. During the housing boom of the last decade, Americans withdrew over and this is what I found interesting about this story, over $1 trillion in home equity.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah, and they did it through cash-out refinances, home equity loans, or home equity lines of credit. Yeah, the latter, that line of credit allowed you to use your home like an ATM.
Caution.
Yeah, I tell you what, it makes you wonder when we say housing bubble, kind of feels like we're starting to experience our own little bubble, or at least all those variables that set us ripe for another little bubble.
Well, and I think it's very, very important as we work with our buyers out there. There's always another house.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are buyers.
Best house is the next best house.
Exactly. I mean, if you're offering top dollar for the house and you don't get the bid, be glad you didn't get the bid.
Yeah.
You didn't need to be offering more than that.
Yep.
You didn't need to be, going crazy over the market. Everything goes in full circle. So, the right house will come up, and that's what I continue to tell buyers who are anxious.
Yeah.
Just be patient. The right one comes up. Don't worry.
The concerning stats that we've seen nationally is that normally housing prices nationally will rise somewhere between 3 and 4%. And if you as a homeowner, and yes, I'm talking to you, if you as a homeowner are curious what that means, we've got a cool little spreadsheet. All you have to do is call us, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958, and we'll send that little spreadsheet out to you. And you can play with the numbers as far as, hey, what do you owe on your property? What do you think what's the estimated worth on your property?
Right.
And based upon the appreciation, that if you want to estimate conservatively at 2%, or you want to pick middle of the road and go 3 and not go 4. We've seen in excess of 10% appreciation from last quarter of 2011 through comparatively speaking, to last quarter of 2012 here in Fresno County. That's a huge increase. And if we're talking that's triple what we would see normally, that doesn't make me feel necessarily comfortable.
No, because, I mean, and I'll be honest, when I bought my first house, I can remember my father saying, okay, here's what happens. You buy a house, you live in it for 10 years or so, you gain a little bit of equity, and then you sell it and take that equity and buy a bigger house or a different house or a nicer neighborhood, whatever. But it's a process. And that's what our parents trusted and lived by. And so, again, I caution if the people who are buying houses out there think that 10% is a normal, they got another thing coming.
Yeah.
That is not normal. 3 to 4%.
That's real.
That's real.
Statistically.
That's responsible and real numbers. So,
and way more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be so, and again.
And I compare it, do you get a 10% raise every year, Craig?
No.
Do you get a 3 to 4% raise if you're lucky?
Yeah.
And that's really what the, economics is.
Yep.
Come on.
Very true. Very true. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or you just want to call and give Michelle and I a bad time, give us a call. We'd love to chat.
No, he takes the bad times. I only take the fun people.
Oh, you only take the fun people. Yeah, I'm the problem solver, right? 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Or you can go to our website, search for your new home at reofresnohomes.com. You can also listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network. You can also friend us on Facebook by using Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, interest rates are at an all-time low, record low, 40, 50-year low. Even a 1-point increase can increase your monthly mortgage payment pretty dramatically. And we're going to take a look at how mortgage rates affect your payments if you're looking to buy a new home. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valley White Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valley White Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valley White Homes to work for you.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country? The whole country. From Pete's Seats right here in Fresno. If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events. Local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, how much of an increase in mortgage interest rates is really too much, and how much is acceptable? That's all relative to every single one of us, right?
It is.
Yeah, any increase is not lucky.
Well, I mean, nobody seeks higher interest rates.
Yes.
But let's be honest.
Can I get the highest rate you have?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what are we at? 3.5, 4?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, 1980s, we were at 18, 19%.
Yeah,
Stop,
that
stop
puts it
whining, people.
Stop your complaining.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's very cost effective to
Yeah.
be purchasing right now.
Almost
as
definitely.
Many of our, first-time home buyers and move-up buyers know.
Interest rates are at record all-time lows, and even a 1% increase could affect how much your mortgage payment's going to rise. Well, let's take a look at and give some examples. Interest rates on a $150,000 principal and interest, so on a $150,000 balance, let's say, and this is 30-year fixed, let's say that your interest rate is 4%.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to give some examples of what's real time as far as today's market's concerned.
Okay.
Your principal and interest is going to be $716 on $150. That's $150,000 balance. Mm-hmm. Well, if your interest rate goes up 0.5% on that, your increase is going to be roughly $34.
Okay.
Not too bad.
No.
Yeah, from 4 to 5%, the increase in payment is going to be roughly $80. Mm-hmm. So again, not too bad. So from 4% to 5%.
So 1% kicked you up $80.
1% kicked you up $80. Mm-hmm. So it's still palatable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, interest rates are nowhere near 5%. So from 5 to 6%, it goes from $805 to $899.
Woo, $95.
Yeah,
$94.
so now we're seeing a bigger jump. And from 6 to 7%, 6% is $899. And again, this is principal and interest, does not include your homeowner's insurance, your taxes, and monthly PMI if you put less than 20% down. It's going from $899 to $997. So almost
$100. Okay.
On a $150,000 balance. Mm-hmm. So my next question is, are you renting right at the moment? And let's make it all relative and compare it to how much you're paying in rent.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, $150,000 purchase price. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize FHA financing as really our main example today. Mm-hmm. FHA is the most lenient type of financing, allowing credit scores really as low as the investor will allow because HUD does not require any minimum FICO scores. It's the lowest middle credit score of both borrowers if there's multiple borrowers, or the middle credit score of one borrower.
Right, and that's where we're seeing 620, 640 kind of being the threshold for those.
Yeah, anytime you get below 620 as far as your middle credit score is concerned, it starts to get a little dicey. The requirements and the requirements increase, and it really begins to put the screws on the buyers as far as what they're able to show. Are they able to show that they've been paying rent for the last 12 months?
Right,
Well, we've been living with parents. Well,
and
sorry.
Everything's got to be documented. Yeah. Everything. Okay.
So on a $150,000 purchase price, and let's utilize, as of this Friday, an FHA interest rate of 3.5%, let's say, as an example. That would put your APR about 3.76%.
Okay, APR. We see that with cars.
Your annual
Tell
percentage
me more.
rate. Yeah, annual percentage rate is an expression of the cost of your loan, expressed in interest rate terms. And really, it's a tool that the federal government intended that consumers could use to shop for mortgage rates. Because if you have two loans side by side, exactly the same terms, and let's say exactly the same interest rates. So let's say it's 3.5 and 3.5, but one has a slightly higher APR. As long as those APRs are being disclosed accurately, the loan with the higher APR is the loan with the higher cost. Okay. So again, let me restate the definition. It's an expression of the cost of the loan expressed in interest rate terms. Okay. So the APR is that interest rate term, and it's an expression of the cost. The higher the APR, the higher the cost. That is the loan that's going to cost you more in terms of money's concerned. Gotcha. Not over the life of the loan necessarily, but up front in terms of closing that transaction.
Okay.
So $150,000 purchase price with an interest rate of 3.5% with an APR of 3.76%. You're looking at a total payment, including principal and interest, taxes, insurances, and FHA required mortgage insurance of $1,054.
That's actually very economical.
So are you renting and paying $1,000?
$1,054, and that included insurance, your mortgage insurance,
correct,
your taxes,
yep,
and your principal and interest.
Yep.
How much for most clients to buy a $150,000 home and have $1,054 payment? I mean, how much cash does it take to buy that?
Well, total cash, depending upon whether you have cash or whether you're utilizing some sort of down payment assistance for a first-time home buyer, or you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You could utilize what we call a silent second. You're looking at roughly, and there's ways that we can also make this number decrease as well. If you're utilizing CHDAP, which is a California Housing and Down Payment Assistance through the California Housing and Finance Authority here in California, a 3% silent second, easily you can get in for roughly about $1,500.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's a silent second. You're basically borrowing your down payment.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Because your down payment on a 3.5% is going to be what,
$5,250.
Okay.
Yep.
And they take gift funds.
Yep, they do.
So if mom and dad want to help you, or brother or sister, or somebody's trying to help you get in a house, they can help you with your down payment as well.
Or you can get the lender to contribute as well.
Okay.
Meaning the lender does have the ability these days, if the seller doesn't want to. And in today's market, if you're wanting to write a clean offer and ensure that the it is a high enough net to the seller, meaning you want your offer to be as clean and as aggressive as possible. If you ask the seller for any monies to go towards your closing costs, which is acceptable, but maybe not wise in today's competitive market, because if somebody else offers the same price and doesn't ask for anything, and you're asking for $3,000, well, guess whose offer they're going to take?
Right.
So, $150,000 purchase price,
$1,000,
a little over $1,000, $1,054. $175,000. Same terms, FHA financing, 3.5%. APR is about 3.78%. $1,229.92.
And their 3.5% down payment is going to be just over $6,000.
Yeah, $6,125.
So you go up $1,000 and you go up a couple $100 on your payment.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So so again, if you're paying under $1,200 or under $1,300, so now let's talk about $200,000. This is where we think that, or some folks think, oh, I can never afford that kind of house. Well, same terms again, FHA financing, 3.5%, 30-year fixed rate mortgage with an APR of 3.79. You're looking at a monthly payment of $1,405.
Nice.
So $200,000 buys a lot of home.
It does.
Depending upon the area. Some areas more than others.
When you run rents in the area, if you're looking at houses, I don't see a whole lot of houses being rented out there for under $1,000.
Yeah,
you're looking at $1,000, $1,200 for a house or more. So definitely each and every one of those meets in that window,
right,
or less.
So our call to action would be is what?
If you're not sure,
call us.
Let's
Number
run
one.
the numbers.
Yeah, let us run the numbers for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you're paying rent and you're paying anywhere between $1,000 and $1,400, you could purchase a home anywhere between $150,000 and $200,000, given today's rates.
Well, and the nice part is if they check now and it doesn't make sense now, they get a roadmap when they walk out the door of what they need to do to make it make sense.
And for so many borrowers that don't know where they are at, it's kind of financial GPS. Where am I at today in terms of credit, in terms of income, employment, time on job?
Yeah, that reminds me. I have a client who lost their house a few years ago.
Yeah.
They had they had rental property, primary property. They were trying to hang on to them. Lost some properties a few years ago, but have cash now to put down on a house. And it's time.
Yeah.
It's been enough time. So if you were hit hard at the beginning of the market even, and you're not sure if now's the time or if it's time, if your credit's healed enough or whatever, again, call us. Because
it will be better now than a year from now. I guarantee you that. Because so many folks, I was talking to an agent the other day and says, well, it kind of seems like we're at the bottom of the market. I said, no, bottom of the market. Yeah,
to the bottom.
That was about a year ago.
We've been floating up ever since.
Yeah,
nice. But call with those questions because I do think it's important for you to put your road map in place.
Extremely important. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle or I share share with you on our show. It all starts with one call. Give us a call. We'd love to talk with you. Call us anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website, Fresnohomes.com. You can search for your new home. You can get information with regards to bankruptcy, foreclosure, whatever it might be. We'd be happy to help. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into us anytime, not just during the show, but after the show as well. Well, coming up, we're going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062. 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at Pete'sSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097. And take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, it's time to take some listener questions. You ready?
I am, because we got some doozies.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, Tim from Fresno asks, my grandfather passed away a few years ago, and I'm entitled to a certain percentage of his estate. He also owned a property free and clear that is part of the assets of the estate, and I'd like to use my percentage of ownership to purchase that particular property. Well, can it be done, and how? That's Tim from Fresno.
You're the how. But I think it can be done because it's a value that would be credited towards the purchase, like a down payment, wouldn't it?
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I knew the answer.
There you go. Ta-da.
I'm teasing you, but no, that's what I would imagine at least.
Well, first and foremost, there has to be no other heir in the estate that wants to purchase that property. So that's the first hoop that you've got to jump through. Does anybody else, anyone?
Any takers?
Dealer?
Right. Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone else that's an heir to that estate want the property? So once you've got through that hurdle, everybody else might say, I don't want that. I want cash, baby. Mm-hmm. There's a certain value of the estate, including real estate. Mm-hmm. So everyone then receives their portion of the value of that estate. The inheritance, in this particular instance, will end up, or his portion, Tim's portion of the inheritance, will end up being cash that he can in turn around and purchase the property from the estate itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he gets.
Now, can they do that? They'll do that all through paperwork.
Well, in this particular instance, it's actually going to be a cash distribution because the property is going to get transferred to his father because his grandfather is the one that passed away. It's going to be transferred to his father so they can maintain the tax basis in terms of the current assessment on the Fresno County tax assessor assessment on the property.
And then he'll do a purchase.
And then he'll purchase it from his father, who is the trustee of the actual estate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Quirky, but nice.
Yeah, you know what? And it's just a matter, you just have to know all the variables, what are all the assets in the estate, how much is it worth?
Can I laugh? And on a title note, don't go transferring things without consulting someone.
Yes.
Don't go transferring to Dad because someone passed away so that you can buy until you consult the title representative.
You've got to get a clear or a clean preliminary title report.
Yes, please do that.
Our second question today comes from Veronica from Selma. My husband passed away 3 years ago, and unfortunately, I was forced. This is not all that uncommon a story. I was forced to sell my home. I also filed bankruptcy. Now, the short sale, just to clarify, short sell my home. And I also filed bankruptcy 3 years ago. How soon can I purchase a home? Well,
okay, so 5 years was the foreclosure?
Yes.
And then 3 years was the purchase.
Was the
BK.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So FHA is 3 years since a foreclosure or short sale, unless there's extenuating circumstances. And FHA is also 2 years for a BK with reestablished credit and no lates after the BK.
Okay.
So it sounds to me, based upon her situation, that
she's good to go if she's reestablished.
Yes,
It's just focusing on the reestablishment, which that's where people have trouble sometimes.
Well, and a lot of times, I always say this. I've worked with a number of clients over the years that have asked the question now and gotten their roadmap and able to put themselves into a position that they were all ready to go once the time had passed.
Right.
Yeah, really important, that roadmap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle and I shared with you this morning on this beautiful Sunday morning, call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website, check out your new home. That's where you will find it. We got a lot of people that are using our website to find their new home. I kid you not.
Love it.
Go to REO Fresno Homes. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into us anytime. Not just during the show, guys. It could be anytime. Right, Michelle?
Hey, I'm up 24/7.
24/7.
Anytime is great, though.
You're up all the time, that's for sure. A big thank you to Michelle Pettiscavalli with Valley White Homes, my special guest host, for joining us in the studio today. Good luck with that open house this afternoon.
Hey, come see me. It's going to be great. We're going to have a good time.
1 to 4, right?
1 to 4 tonight.
Awesome. We love having you here, Michelle. I hope
Thank
you know
you.
that. Big special thank you to Johnny B. I'm sorry, I didn't call you fat, just so you know. Johnny, thank you for making it sound so good. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
Don't forget to tune in to the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.